The fierce battle for Basho Island, Tarawa Atoll, Gilbert Islands, fought on November 20th to 23rd, 1943, which of course the Marine Corps won, resulted in about 5,000 Japanese deaths and resulted in about 1,100 Marine dead and over 2,500 Marine injuries. At this time, this was the most brutal battle in the 200-plus year history of the USMC. In May 2014, a group of 6 old Marines, all survivors of this battle, were returned to Basho to honor our dead and commemorate the 70th anniversary of the battle. The pictures presented here are a record of that return. The present people on Basho were very welcoming of the returning brothers. The leftmost 6 individuals on the front row are the band. From left to right, they are C.J. Daigle, Wendell Perkins, Arvin J. Bowden, Dean Woodward, Dean Ladd, and Jim Morrow. Top row, 4th from right, is Mark Noah, founder of History Flight. A part of his team, recovering Marine remains, are the last person on the top and bottom rows. The other 2 on the top row are the embedded reporter team from CBS News, who accompanied us and reported on our activity. Mayor Romano Rio and the town council have been extremely cooperative and friendly. This memorial device contains the remains of 40 Marines who died in the battle for Basho Island. These Marines were recovered by the personnel of History Flight under the leadership of Mark Noah. This group has devoted almost 10 years of their lives and over $600,000 of their money to recovering of servicemen from abroad. These 40 recoveries preceded the arrival of the brothers on Basho on this visit. These photos illustrate the honored formal process by which recovered Marine remains from World War II are transferred to the Department of Defense, represented by JPAC, from the organization which recovered those remains. Here, History Flight and their people. From this point forward, the Department of Defense is responsible for carrying the process forward until these recovered service people are welcomed back into our society and properly included in the cemeteries created for their care. In most cases, that involves identifying the service people, since that process, such as dog tags, very often fail over extended periods of time in corrosive environments. This is anything but trivial. These 40 recovered Marine veterans will be transported on the C-130 aircraft shown here to Honolulu, Hawaii. This picture shows excavation manager Kristen Baker, forensic anthropologist, and her colleague of History Flight excavating a new location in Cemetery 22 adjacent to the island command post during the battle. Before I returned to the U.S., they had found 3 more Marine remains. The band of Marine brothers had been in touch with Mayor Romano Rio for several months prior to the trip, and therefore was already well aware of the horrendous problems facing the island due to the scarcity of clean water. Fundamentally, the infant mortality rate was distorting life here, as families produced a large number of babies in an effort to ensure that their families would survive. This, of course, led to severe overpopulation and complicated the financial strain. A population of 20,000 persons was represented by about 2,000 families. This represented an average of 10 persons per family, each family with approximately 6 children. History has shown repeatedly that minimizing infant mortality leads not to higher overall population, but to lower, as cited in Bill Gates' 2013 annual report. Therefore, it can be expected that minimizing infant mortality can also be expected to gradually improve all living conditions on Basho. Long before the brothers set foot back on Basho, there was already a firm agreement that what was needed urgently was an adequate supply of clean water. Further, because of the training Rotary International provides to their leaders, there was firm understanding that a universal, economically affordable solution to providing clean water was already at hand. Therefore, it was very clear what our course of action should be: provide clean water. It was also clear that a tiny membrane filter was suitable to the need. So the brothers brought 50 filter kits with them as part of their luggage. What had to be done was train Mayor Rio's staff, who were being asked to connect those kits to 3 to 5 gallon buckets and place them in the selected homes, to commence the process by which all homes on Paggio would ultimately be equipped with clean water. This picture is that of such a filter in the USA. It can provide up to 200 gallons of clean water per day for many years with no chemical additives, but only maintenance being occasional backflushing. The backflushing resources are provided as part of the filter kit. So the brothers met with Mayor Rio and interested members of the community. I began the meeting by telling them, it is widely acknowledged truism that since the dawn of human civilizations, babies have been dying from drinking contaminated water. Their tiny bodies have so little fluid that diarrhea rapidly dehydrates them. They quickly move beyond the ability of medical science to save them, and they simply die. If this breaks your heart, then we simply need to make sure they have clean water to drink. Mother's wonderful milk is a perfect solution in the earliest days and weeks. Then when they move to simple water, they are at the risk of death. We owe them clean water. Then we finished up the meeting as we assembled the filter. The meeting dissolved into chaos as Mayor Rio's wonderful people engulfed me in a friendly wave, each of them determined not to miss anything. No problem. The process is extraordinarily simple, and I am confident in their ability to carry the program forward without limit. They took the assembled new filter, loaded it with local water, and started serving the result. My final memory was that meeting was seeing their women smacking their lips over the filtered water. Delicious. Of course, it is elemental water, just as our Creator made it. Probably the first they have ever tasted. Wonderful. Of course, we know that God doesn't make any junk. The Marine Brothers are committed to share this miracle of clean water with the entire population of Paggio. I invite you to participate in this commitment. If you feel touched by our story, then please see me for more detailed information on how you can become involved in sponsoring clean water for the Pacific. Thank you.